Hey guys, welcome to Your Best Interviews. My name is Eric Smith. Today what I want to talk about is just preparing for your first couple interviews that you're going to have with a company. Typically that's a phone interview or a video interview. There's a couple different ways that you should prepare for this differently than you would an in-person interview. So what I always advise is if you're preparing for a phone interview, you want to practice how you're actually going to conduct the phone interview. So practice in the space that you're actually going to conduct that phone interview. And what I would recommend also is if you're going to do it in public, practice with somebody that's close with you, a friend, a relative. A lot of times people think that they're going to conduct a phone interview in a coffee shop or something like that. And then when they get in the actual interview, they didn't anticipate the noise in the background, or maybe the volume of the music's louder than what they had thought it was going to be, and it throws off the entire phone interview and throws off concentration. So if you're planning on doing it in a public space, check it out beforehand, go there, actually run a call how you would for the phone interview. If you're going to use like AirPods or wired headphones, run the call that way. See what the call quality sounds like and see whatever microphone you're using is picking up in the background. So conduct the call the same way you would the actual interview. If you're going to do it from home, that's great. Do it in a room where you're eliminating as many distractions as possible. Do it in a room that's going to be as quiet as possible, but also make sure that you're checking your echo, your sound, all those things. Again, practice with somebody. Do a test call to make sure that it's not echoing and distracting the background. And then the other side is you want to make sure that you've got all of your or your interview prep material right in front of you, right? So if you've got your resume, you've got the job description, and then maybe if you took notes on the company or notes on things that you want to express, throughout the call, make sure all of that is in front of you so you're not flipping through papers as they're asking you questions. You can quickly just reference what you need right in front of you. That's it for the phone screen. Just remember, typically with the phone screen, what they're doing is just verifying that you are a qualified candidate. They're likely just going through and checking the boxes, comparing your experience with what's on the job description. So just make sure that you have a really good handle of your previous experience and how to connect those dots to the actual job description, because that likely is what the recruiter or the HR manager is going to be asking you to make sure that you are indeed a qualified candidate to move you forward to the in-person where you'll be meeting with the hiring manager and getting more into the nitty-gritty about what the role is specifically. Now, if you're preparing for a video interview, it's a little bit different because a video interview, they can see you, right? So it's a little bit more awkward because you can see yourself, they can see you. So if you're doing a video interview, prep is very, very important. You want to make sure that you've got a clean background. You don't have a lot of clutter on the shelves or on the ground behind you. Make sure you're in a very quiet environment and that the lighting is okay. Typically, if you face a window or you have the camera face towards a window, everything gets really dark. And so you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you've got good lighting on your face. The other thing that you really want to make sure that you're doing is that you've got your camera almost level with your eye line. So you're not looking down at the camera as you're talking or looking up at the actual camera as you're talking. All those things are distractions, right? So you want to make sure that the camera is level with you. Maybe that means you have to put a couple books or boxes under your computer to lift it up a little bit to raise it to your eye line. But this is where you want to be conducting the interview. You want to have a clean background. And then if you're doing the video interview, typically they'll send you the link beforehand. You want to make sure that you're testing that out before, because certain video interviewing software or certain platforms that they're using will have you actually download something onto your computer. Now, most you can just join through a browser, which is great. But if you can't do that, if you have to download, you want to make sure that you're actually going in and downloading whatever you need to beforehand. The worst thing that you can do is go in right before the interview and you're actually having technical difficulties before you actually meet with somebody. You want to make sure all that is ironed out beforehand so that it's so much easier and smoother and you can just focus on the interview right when you click in. Guys, hopefully this was helpful. I know this was short and quick. Check out the links below. Hit subscribe. I drop 2 videos every week, Monday and Wednesday, and all my advice is centered on helping you get the job that you really want, improve your odds in the interview process, and getting to a better spot. So thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it, and check out everything else.